That's it. Walk around. Pop.
Amidst his recent training and sparring footage in preparation for his bout against Jake Paul, new sparring footage of Mike Tyson has been leaked. It's not only special because he was in his prime, but it was more special because it was a sparring session with his idol, Muhammad Ali. It's footage no one saw coming. July 20th might mean many things to many people, but to the hardcore boxing fans, it's the remarkable day that the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson, makes a graceful return to the boxing ring. Once more, the boxing world gets to see the former undisputed world heavyweight champion get into the ring against Jake Paul, the problem child, after 19 years of being away. There was an exhibition bout in 2020 though, where Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fought it out to a draw. But this time around, though still called an exhibition match, would have entirely different rules from exhibition bouts, with Mike Tyson really set to take on Jake Paul in what would almost be a professional bout. Expectedly, the man who had all knockout wins in his first 19 bouts, including 12 first-round knockout wins, has been making the headlines for several reasons ranging from his intense training sessions, to interviews, to stern warnings for Jake Paul, and even some promotional works. However, this time, Mike Tyson has made headlines for the rediscovery of footage that contains more than just a sparring session, but one of boxing's most treasurable moments. It was the kind of footage that'd be placed gallantly on a trophy cabinet in a museum, as it's truly worth every honor it gets.
Who would have won if you fought this man in your prime?
I was a dancing master. I wasn't that powerful. I was so fast. If he hit me.
As training and footage of Mike Tyson have been doing the rounds lately, especially the ones that included a comparison between his training sessions and those of Jake Paul, Mike Tyson has been mostly seen with his trainer, Rafael Cordeiro. Rafael Cordeiro has been everything except a boxing ring to Tyson, as he trains ahead of his bout against Jake Paul. From time to time, Rafael Cordeiro is often seen holding the punching pad, receiving punches to his body, though guarded by a punch jacket, and most importantly, he's been seen giving repeated instructions to Mike Tyson and even motivating him when needed. As these footage have been doing the rounds, one of Mike Tyson's old sparring footage was leaked where he spared against his idol and inspiration, Muhammad Ali. In the sparring video, Mike Tyson was seen both throwing and evading punches from the boxing legend, and really, his performance in sparring was beyond satisfactory. Muhammad Ali, on the other hand, was wearing headgear during the sparring session. And while many might be wondering why the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time had to use a headgear during the sparring session,
Come here for a minute.
This is surprise.
the reason isn't strange. Between Muhammad Ali and one of his best proteges, Iron Mike Tyson, there is a huge age difference of 24 years. Muhammad Ali was born on the 17th of January, 1942, while Iron Mike Tyson was born on the 30th of June, 1966. As a result, despite Mike Tyson being the youngest ever heavyweight boxer to become a world heavyweight champion, at 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days old, Muhammad Ali was long out of retirement when that happened. Following his win in the rematch against Leon Spinks, on July 27, 1979, Ali announced his retirement from boxing. His retirement was short-lived, however. Ali announced his comeback to face Larry Holmes for the World Boxing Council belt in an attempt to win the heavyweight championship an unprecedented 4th time. The fight was largely motivated by Ali's need for money. Boxing writer Richie Giacchetti said, "Larry didn't want to fight Ali. He knew Ali had nothing left. He knew it would be a horror." It was around this time that Ali started struggling with vocal stutters and trembling hands.
You still shuffle? Show Muhammad, watch this. Watch Muhammad, watch.
Watch me, Ali.
Watch.
Champ, watch me, champ, move fast. Watch the feet, champ, my feet, watch the feet, champ. I'm bad, champ.
The Nevada Athletic Commission, NAC, ordered that he undergo a complete physical in Las Vegas before being allowed to fight again. Ali chose instead to check into the Mayo Clinic, who declared him fit to fight. Their opinion was accepted by the NAC on July 31, 1980, paving the way for Ali's return to the ring. On October 2nd, 1980, Ali returned to the ring to fight Holmes at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Holmes, who fought under the nickname the Easton Assassin, easily dominated Ali. After the 10th round, Angelo Dundee stepped into the ring and instructed the referee to stop the fight. It was the only time Ali ever lost by stoppage. Immediately after the fight, Ali was given painkillers and antidepressants, in violation of World Boxing Council rules prohibiting the administration of post-fight urinalysis. Giachetti called the fight awful, the worst sports event I ever had to cover.
Referee, stop this fight. Don't let this man. Told the man I still love him. I still love you, man. And he said, if you love me, why you beat me up?
Actor Sylvester Stallone was ringside for the fight and said that it was like watching an autopsy on a man who is still alive. The Holmes fight is said to have contributed to Ali's Parkinson's syndrome. Despite pleas to definitively retire, Ali fought one last time on December 11, 1981 in Nassau, Bahamas against Trevor Berbick, losing a 10-round decision. Mike Tyson was just 15 years old at the time of Muhammad Ali's retirement, and despite him starting his career relatively early at age 19 in 1985, Muhammad Ali had made his final retirement years before then. It must be quite surprising how Iron Mike Tyson made his debut in 1985 and became a world champion only a year later. Well, here's where the craziness of the baddest man on the planet gets more intriguing for boxing fans. Though Mike Tyson debuted at the age of 19, he had 15 bouts in the first year of his career. This wasn't a difficult feat to achieve, considering Iron Mike Tyson was one who ended his opponents as early as the first round, before any punch would do his body any harm. As a result, Mike Tyson had the fitness and wellness to go again and again, which he did, eventually accounting for why he became a world heavyweight champion just a year after his professional debut. Muhammad Ali was already in his mid-40s by the time Mike Tyson clinched his first world title in 1986, aged 44 years. And anyone who knows something about Muhammad Ali knows there were already complaints regarding his brain injuries that eventually culminated in the Parkinson's syndrome that he suffered till his death. By the time he was in his late 30s, he had started struggling with vocal stutters and trembling hands. While the time the video was recorded isn't only known, the reason for Muhammad Ali's use of a protective headgear gives a clue. Mike Tyson must have started his professional career as at the time of the footage, and Muhammad Ali was already encountering problems with his brain. As a result, it was necessary he used a headgear to protect himself from further damage. However, for Mike Tyson, it wouldn't really be about the headgear, rather it would be the honor and privilege of having a sparring session with his idol and role model. In the footage, it was evident that Iron Mike Tyson was less aggressive than he would normally be, as he was being cautious of hitting Muhammad Ali too hard. Muhammad Ali also didn't display the speed and footwork that he'd been globally known for during his prime. It was a very friendly sparring session between an idol and his protege, and it wasn't just about them. It was about the history of boxing gracing a ring, not for a fight, but a sparring session. It must be the most remarkable and noteworthy sparring session ever, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration if the ring and gloves are archived and kept in a museum. It mattered little that Muhammad Ali was out of his prime, as it meant everything to both Iron Mike Tyson and the entire world of boxing. As dangerous as Mike Tyson was, if there was a man he would often break his walls of defense against, it was Muhammad Ali. Mike Tyson had such a soft spot for him. It was the kind of love a kid had for his favorite uncle, and he has never maintained silence or minced words whenever he had to talk about his idol. A three-time world champion known simply as the greatest, Ali officially hung up the gloves in 1981. Tyson grabbed the heavyweight reins in 1985, going on to serve as undisputed champ from 1987 to 1990. Never was Tyson's appreciation for Ali clearer than in a podcast with Michael Rappaport back in 2019. The baddest man on the planet spoke emotionally about how they were different. I always like to think I'm a bad guy, vicious guy, I don't give a damn. That's the part of Ali where he overshines me, because I can't understand a man that's willing to really die for this. I talk about that stuff, but he's the real deal. Ali's a giant. There's no way other fighters can match him. He'll die for this thing. He'll die. I'm not gonna die for this. That's real talk. Ali's a savage. He's an animal, a different breed of person. He's not like us.
It's the Ali Show. And this Ali Shuffle is something that's designed to make Ernie Terrell scuff.
I always like to think I'm a bad motherfucker, vicious motherfucker. I don't give a fuck, but that's a part of Ali. That's where he overshines me, because I can't understand a man that's willing to just really die for this. You know, and I talk that shit, but he's the real dick.
Although he didn't exactly quit while he was ahead, Muhammad Ali is still considered by many to be the greatest boxer to ever walk this earth. Blessed with unlimited charisma and a tongue that was as sharp as his skills in the ring, Ali was ahead of his time as a top athlete who could also be considered a mainstream celebrity. Even those who didn't pay attention to boxing knew who he was, and while his Parkinson's disease slowed him down considerably in the last few decades of his life, he still made it a point to be present at various media events, essentially serving as an ambassador of goodwill for the sport of boxing. One generation after Ali's professional debut, Mike Tyson first made his presence felt as the next big thing in heavyweight boxing, and did so with a lot of the same swagger that Ali possessed in his heyday. Unlike Ali, however, Tyson frequently found himself on the wrong side of the law, and by the late 90s, he was far better known as the guy who made a meal out of Evander Holyfield's ear than anything he did prior to that controversial 1997 bout. For all their similarities and differences as boxing legends, Ali and Tyson remain two of the sport's all-time greats, and there happens to be one moment in the former's career that somehow proved to be a game-changer for the latter, and in the best way possible, as he revealed in a recent interview. In an interview with Valuetainment shared on September 19, 2021, Mike Tyson was asked about the one victory in his boxing career that felt the most exciting to him. According to Tyson, his January 22, 1988, heavyweight title defense against veteran Larry Holmes stood out because it gave him a chance to avenge his hero, Muhammad Ali, whose loss to Holmes in 1980 was not his last professional fight, but certainly was a late career moment fans would rather forget.
Partner. See, Ali, that's the only thing about Ali. When you were watching Ali get beaten up as an old man, even if I was a young kid, he's not going to quit. You got to kill him. He won't quit. Even he was getting beat up every round, getting the shit kicked out of him by Larry Holmes. And it's a champ. No, come on.
While speaking to interviewer Patrick Bet-David, Tyson recalled being only 14 years old and under the tutelage of trainer Cus D'Amato when he spoke to Ali a day after his loss to Holmes. I'm crying on the phone and he said, "I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna fight Holmes again and I'm gonna knock him out," Tyson said. "I'm like, when I'm big, I'm gonna get him for you." And he must have been like, "Hey kid, you know who I am, the greatest of all time." As a teenage boxing prodigy, he then made it his life mission to defeat Holmes if and when he got the chance to do so. And he did get that opportunity slightly more than 7 years later, when, at just 21 years old, he defeated the 38-year-old Holmes via fourth-round TKO at the Convention Center in Atlantic City. Holmes, who was 38 years old and a grandfather at the time, could not withstand the furious assault of Tyson. He knocked Holmes down 3 times in the 4th round of a scheduled 12-round heavyweight title bout before referee Joe Cortez stopped the fight 5 seconds before the end of the round. Tyson, the undisputed champion, was the aggressor throughout the bout, but it was not until that 4th round that he caught up with the clinching, retreating Holmes. Then, with one booming right hand, Tyson put Holmes into deep trouble. The right landed flush on the chin of Holmes, who dropped onto the seat of his trunks in Tyson's corner. Holmes got to his feet by the count of 4 and grabbed the ropes as Cortez gave him the mandatory 8 count. Then Holmes shook his head several times to clear it and let go of the ropes as Tyson came forward. Tyson winged lefts and rights, trying to open up Holmes and land the finishing shot. A big right by Tyson sent Holmes lurching into the ropes and down again. This time Holmes was up at the count of 5. Tyson seemed intent on ending the fight, throwing and landing one punch after another, some of them causing Holmes' head to snap back. By now, ringsiders were shouting, "Stop the fight!" The fight went on. Holmes retreated while Tyson pursued. Another heavy right by Tyson dropped Holmes in his tracks. As soon as Holmes fell backward onto the canvas, Cortez waved an end to the bout. "I just felt I didn't have to bother counting," Cortez said afterward. "I pulled out his mouthpiece and got out of the way so the doctor could look him over. Larry was all right. He rose to a sitting position and told everybody, 'I'm okay.' Okay, in this case, was relative. Through 50 previous fights, Holmes had been knocked off his feet on a few occasions, but this marked the first time that he was knocked out. That night, he fought as if he were aware of his vulnerability. In the first 2 rounds, he concentrated on defense, holding Tyson off with an outstretched arm or drawing him into a clinch when Tyson charged forward. On occasion, when Tyson missed with his wide-arcing punches, Holmes quickly stepped to the side out of the way. In the 3rd round, Holmes became more offense-minded, trying to use his jab as he had in his prime. Holmes even danced on his toes, drawing a cheer from the crowd. "The people were more excited than I was," Tyson said later. "The crowd got pumped up and Larry let his ego get involved. I said, now he's going to get it." Tyson said that even as a champion, Holmes was susceptible to the right hand. "He made the same mistake back then," Tyson said. "What was the mistake? He always kept his left hand low." Tyson made him pay dearly for the mistake. And with the first knockdown, he said, "I knew he wasn't going to finish the round." Holmes did not appear at the post-fight news conference. But Larry Merchant, who interviewed him immediately after the fight as part of the telecast of the bout, said, "Larry Holmes was very generous in his praise of Tyson. He said he was a much sharper puncher than he thought. Toward the end, he got into a very philosophical mood. He said, 'They always get you and someday they'll get him.'"
October 2nd, 1980, Ali fights Larry Holmes. After the fight, Cuss is calling Larry Holmes so many bad. I talked to Ali on the phone. I said, when I get big, I'm gonna get him for you. I'm gonna revenge you. I'm gonna restore you.
As shown on his BoxRec page, Mike Tyson's win over Larry Holmes was followed by several more successful title defenses, though his dominant run was momentarily interrupted by an upset loss to James "Buster" Douglas in February 1990 and interrupted again for much longer due to his well-documented legal issues. But even with those setbacks in mind, Tyson had one of the best careers a professional boxer could ever hope for, except of course that little thing with Evander Holyfield's ear. And he owes it mostly to how he successfully avenged Muhammad Ali's loss to Holmes. In an interesting side note, Tyson mentioned in his Valuetainment interview that prior to Ali's fight against Holmes, Ali was taking drugs that made him lethargic, and at 38 was no longer the same fighter he was in the 1960s and 1970s. Ali himself admitted this, explaining that at first, the anti-thyroid medication he was taking helped make him quicker and stronger with my old great reflexes. But when he doubled his dosage, he became slow and ineffective. "I came to the hospital because I suspected there was something wrong with me," he told UPI. "The more I thought about the pills, the more I figured they had something to do with it." Looking back on this moment, Tyson opined that Ali shouldn't have taken the pills, but by him doing that, there never would have been me. And one more time, is making boxing fans grateful for the gift of him, as many were left convinced that Mike Tyson would beat Jake Paul when the pair met in the ring after a recent footage comparing the two fighters' training went viral. However, the duo appeared to be taking everything in their stride as they worked through their training camps ahead of their meeting in the ring at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Tyson recently shared a clip of his heavy-hitting drills that show the 57-year-old is training to be in prime condition, while Paul appeared to be taking a more relaxed approach to preparations. Tyson looked to be in supreme shape, having shown off his legendary power following his blistering pad work with coach Rafael Cordero. It showed Jake Paul and Iron Mike Tyson going through their paces, but there was a stark difference in the intensity. The problem child seemed to have a more relaxed approach, while the former world heavyweight champion was leaving no stone unturned as he went through a grueling training camp. He also sent a fresh warning to the 27-year-old as he shared a new training video. Fans now believe a clip showing the varying degrees of intensity involved in both camps could spell disaster for Paul when he steps into the ring with Tyson. The video showed Tyson smashing pads with his training staff and throwing down medicine balls with frightening force as the former undisputed champion attempts to overcome the obvious age difference. Meanwhile, Paul was filmed taking punches in the abs while drinking from a bottle, lifting weights, and dancing inside the gym. Reactions quickly began piling in as boxing fans gave their predictions that Tyson will emerge victorious against his younger and less experienced opponent. One comment posted on X read, "The only reason Tyson lost this match was if this was a setup. Another fan hilariously added, if Iron Mike catches him with a solid right hook, Paul is going to start a cooking channel. A third supporter of Tyson stated, man, no one moves like Tyson. He stays so tight and compact but is so quick and powerful. Love to see it again. On getting to the X app, the footage even became more explosive, attracting tons of comments and reactions. One X user wrote, if Iron Mike catches him with a solid right hook, Paul is going to start a cooking channel. A second tweeted, the only reason Tyson losing this match if this was a setup. A third added, Tyson out here looking like he's training to bury someone. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is looking like he belongs in a Planet Fitness Fails compilation. A fourth joked, I wouldn't fight Tyson when he's 90. A fifth said, man, no one moves like Tyson. He stays so tight and compact but is so quick and powerful. Love to see it again. Another commented, Jake Paul is half Tyson's age and doesn't have the intensity Tyson still has. He's like a 110V outlet and Tyson is 440V and ready to light Paul up. Tyson versus Jake Paul, what are your thoughts too? Let us know in the comment section and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.